In the headlines, Dr. Lennox Honeychurch to receive the Dominica Award of Honor, the country's highest award, in November. Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan defends Dominica's CBI program as OECD releases blacklist. And DFC reassures patrons that the stadium will be ready for this weekend's Creole Festival. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001, 275-5003 to
imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are.
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
There's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, historian and anthropologist Dr. Lennox Honeychurch has been a commentator on several National Day events over the years where other nationals were honored for service to their country.
Prime Minister Skerritt says it's his turn this year. In recognition of the country's 40th anniversary of independence, Dr. Honeychurch will receive the Dominica Award of Honor, Dominica's highest national award, on November 3rd.
The Cabinet felt that Dr. Honeychurch certainly is a national icon and a treasure, and someone who has contributed immensely to our overall development, and particularly guiding the country from a historical perspective. He is a real reservoir of knowledge and guidance, and somebody who has been involved in the social, economic and political development of Dominica for really all of his life. So I'm very happy. I want to congratulate him. I want to thank him for his service to his country, to our people, over all of these 40 years.
The Prime Minister noted that Dr. Honeychurch was part of the discussions and negotiations leading up to Dominica's independence from Britain 4 decades ago.
I have personally great regard and respect and admiration for Dr. Honeychurch. You know, his love for his country, his commitment to his country, his fair and honest observations from time to time. And I am very pleased to have been part of a cabinet that would have taken a decision to recognize the efforts and contributions of Dr. Honeychurch. So we shall bestow upon him the Dominica Award of Honor this year, the 40th anniversary of our independence.
In other top stories, 6 young ladies are going after the crown in the 2018 Miss Wop Duet pageant. The contestants are Norma Benjamin of the Western District, Yannicka Blah of the Southwestern District, Yulin Massicott of the Northeastern District, Alwina Thomas of the Northern District, Alicia Joseph of the Southern District, and Cassie Seraphin of the Eastern District.
Ophelia will be hosting, as she did at the Madame Wop. We have a number of guest artists, including the Michael Henderson, Swinging Stars, White Kubuli Dance Company, among others.
The Miss Wop Duet show was originally scheduled to take place at the stadium. Channel 5 News met Raymond Lawrence and his crew racing against the clock to set up the stage for the show at the Old Mill.
We had to make, you can call it a last-minute decision. That was yesterday morning, to shift the venue of the Wop Duet show to the Old Mill. We were hoping all along that the stadium would have been ready in time for the WAP Duet show. We know there's a lot of work, restoration work and otherwise going on at the stadium, but we still thought and were hopeful that it would have been ready on time for us. They're trying to finish it, of course, for the World Creole Music Festival, but for us, for tonight, it was a bit difficult for them, so we had to shift it to here. Well, I mean, here is not new. That's where we've been doing the WAP Duet show, so we're accustomed to it, but of course, the time frame now, we only had like a day and a half, and we really have to try to speed up things to get it ready for tonight.
In other developments, a senior executive at the Dominica Festivals Committee is assuring patrons that the Windsor Park Stadium will be ready to host the 20th edition of the World Creole Music Festival this weekend. Acting Festivals and Events Manager Marva Williams made the comment against the backdrop of concerns that the National Miss WAP Duet pageant, which was scheduled to be held at the Windsor Park Stadium, had to be moved to the Old Mill Cultural Center in Canefield. Williams explained that the decision to move the Miss WAP Duet pageant was to ensure the safety of patrons.
As it relates to the WAP Duet, we have an obligation to the safety of our patrons, and there is some last-minute work being done in the venue. It has to do with last-minute work all the way on top, last-minute work, things, rubbles on the ground and so, and we thought that it wouldn't be safe to have patrons walking in through all the rubbles and so that's on the ground, going to the Madam WAP Duet or the Miss WAP Duet show, which is a prestigious event. I mean, people are going to be wearing heels, people are going to be very well dressed, so we figured let's not, put the safety of the patrons at risk. Let's just finish dealing with the stadium as it relates to the World Creole Music Festival and bring patrons to a safer space.
Williams says all preparations were in place to host the Miss WAP Duet pageant at the stadium. However, in finalizing the minute details, the organizers chose to err on the side of caution.
So don't fear, it's nothing to do with the stadium itself not being ready to host an activity. The stadium is ready to a great extent to host the Miss WAP Duet show. I can tell you that for a fact. If you visit our social media page, you will see that our Marpin is down, our stage is down. But as it relates to all the little nitty-gritty all around, we had to remember the safety of the patrons for that event.
In more news, Superintendent of Police Richmond Valentine says the police force has been able to modify its policing techniques to keep up with the changing times. Valentine acknowledged that with advancements in technology and the ingenuity of those with criminal minds, the police force has been kept on its toes in performing its law enforcement duties. This year, the World Creole Music Festival organizers have opted to go the route of e-tickets, and Valentine says the police force is adaptable to whatever comes their way.
The challenges not necessarily respect to Creole Festival, or the challenge within the society changes, more so with the event of technology. We have to adapt to address the concerns and improvements where technology is concerned. So there isn't any major challenge for the police officer, for the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force. We've had Creole Festival about 20 years now. We've had no major incident or accident, and so we deal with every festival on its merit.
He says despite the increased number of planned events for the Creole season, the police force is prepared to execute its plans for a worst-case scenario.
This year, for sure, we've seen, as I said, more planned events. It's expected that more persons will visit our shows, from what I'm hearing, from what I've seen so far. So our plan is always for the worst-case scenario. So we always plan for the worst-case scenario. If the worst case happens, we are ready. If it doesn't, it makes it even better. So this year we are ready as we have been ready before.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are,
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
there's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
Welcome back. Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan defends Dominica's citizenship by investment program as the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, lists the country among 21 jurisdictions of concern.
The OECD's position is that aspects of these schemes pose a risk to the integrity of the Common Reporting Standard CRS. Astafan told a call-in program on Boom FM in St. Vincent that it's an effort to victimize third world countries. He says this also highlights the European Union's insistence that there be taxes levied against offshore banks.
I do not recall any debate with them about enhanced due diligence or a potential threat to national security, because you will realize, and to truly appreciate the situation, you have to read about the 2-3 other articles put out by The Guardian and The Economist, that they keep talking about this potential threat. And to somebody like me who knows that we have had economic citizenship in some of these islands from the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, some of them at least 5 to 10 years old, which the European Union, as they say, did an exhaustive investigation of. It's rather surprising that insofar as Dominica and the Caribbean countries are concerned, they keep talking about potential threat.
The OECD paints a scenario where identity cards obtained through the CBI program could be abused to misrepresent an individual's jurisdiction of tax residence and endanger the operation of the CRS due diligence procedures.
You would think that if a potential threat exists, it would have existed from day one and slowly been eliminated as the enhanced due diligence procedures become more efficient and are implemented by all of these governments. I also know for a fact that Dominica in particular, and I've heard the Prime Minister of Antigua say it, and I have no reason to disbelieve him, that these countries, before they grant citizenship, after their own professional due diligence is done, the list is handed over or shared with international crime agencies who will make recommendations. Additionally, in Dominica's case, everybody granted economic citizenship, his name is published in the Gazette. The only country in the OECS that does that or has done that. So this is not about a threat. This is all about taxation. The European Union economies are struggling. They believe there are billions, if not trillions, hidden somewhere in the Caribbean, and so on.
Astafan accuses the European Union of attempting to shut down the CBI programs in the OECS, which the EU considers tax havens. The CBI program accounts for a significant percentage of Dominica's economy, and there have been warnings regarding what would happen if the CBI folds or goes away.
If the CBI programs draw down, or if this blacklisting has a significant, there's going to have to be a prudent rearrangement of revenues and expenditure. We've been told so by economists from the central bank, the CDB, and the IMF. So it's not going to be a surprise to us. Hence the prudent manner in which these matters are being dealt with now by Prime Minister Skerrit. The economic citizenship program poses no threat. It has never posed a threat in all of its entire years of existence since the Dominican Labour Party assumed public office in 2000. This is all about taxation. This is all about flight money. This is all about trying to stigmatize us as offshore havens.
The OECD has published the results of its analysis of over 100 CBI programs offered by the CRS committed jurisdictions, identifying those that potentially pose a high risk to the integrity of the CRS. Dominica has been lumped in with Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Lucia and St. Kitts Nevis. The OECD says it's also publishing a practical guidance that will enable financial institutions to identify and prevent cases of CRS avoidance through the use of such programs.
The country's farmers told to adjust their attitude if they are going to keep up with the changes expected in agriculture.
The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Agriculture, Reginald Austria, wants farmers to pay attention to new trends in the industry and to understand what's required in order to provide food security. In Austria's view, it all begins with being able to feed one's family after a disaster such as Hurricane Maria.
We have to find a way to get our farmers to begin to listen. Because moving forward, we cannot do the things that we were doing as we used to do it before. Maria taught us a lot of lessons. And even now, while we have bounced back pretty well, we have a large variety of fruits, we have new challenges for agriculture. We are beginning to notice a new set of disease. A new set of disease we have now threatening our agricultural production. We need to think seriously of bringing in new varieties, new resistant varieties, new varieties that would last a couple months more than we normally did. We need to look at our way of farming. How do we cutlass on the hillsides? We have no protective barriers. So once the rain falls, we lose all our topsoil. And as we lose our topsoil, we have a tendency to input more fertilizers into the soil. We're using more chemicals, we're using more weedicides, and that is not very healthy for our population.
Farmers have been told they need to embrace new farming practices. Austria referenced efforts to keep emerging diseases out of the country by returning shipments of planting materials brought in for propagation post-Hurricane Maria.
We brought in a shipment of coconuts from Costa Rica, dwarf coconuts and yellow coconuts, only to find that before it got to the island, we detected disease. The red mite disease was detected. And so we had to immediately send those coconuts back from whence they came, because had we introduced it, we would have been introducing a new set of disease in our coconut industry. We are expecting a shipment of citrus from Israel. Now those citrus plants will come, but they cannot come with any soil or with any leaves. So we have to have a special arrangement to bring in those citrus plants. And we're still working to ensure that whatever the variety we bring in does not compromise our existing varieties on the island. We need to begin a new system of plant propagation, because like I said, we have to begin to introduce new varieties, different varieties, and better varieties.
And a water, sanitation and hygiene project, or WASH project, conducted by an international aid organization has significantly impacted Dominicans.
Samaritans first arrived here shortly after Hurricane Maria and has been engaged in a WASH program ever since. Just over 1 year later, Area Coordinator for Samaritan Spurs Stephen Edwards says aspects of the program have changed to match people's needs during the post-Maria recovery process.
That's one of our oldest programs, I guess you would say. I mean, we started doing WASH work immediately in arriving. We've now been here for over a year, and we've been doing WASH the entire time. And so that program has evolved as the needs have done, but we are still repairing, doing plumbing repairs in schools and public conveniences and medical centers. I think we've done 30 schools and combining public conveniences and health centers, about 30 of those as well, spread out all over the island.
Edwards says a special feature of the WASH program focuses on communities in the Northeast. School children are also benefiting from another component of the program.
We've also been doing some solid waste management, some trash pickups in the Northeast and villages in Northeast, stretching from Marigot all the way over to Portsmouth. And we've been doing a lot of hygiene promotion recently. That's our kind of newest activity, is we're going into schools, we're distributing some cleaning materials and hygiene materials to the schools that we've done work in already, and we're doing hygiene promotion, teaching kids about having good hygiene practices, and hoping that they take that home and kind of take that there as well.
One of the primary areas for which Samaritan Purse's WASH program is known is the supply of potable water to communities in need.
What we started doing here in WASH, and they're still doing, is trucking drinkable water to villages that have not had their water restored. That has significantly decreased, obviously, from when we first arrived, and we were doing it all over the country. But that is still an activity that is ongoing. We're still trucking it to those villages that are in need, and we'll continue to do that right now for the foreseeable future until we get those communities restored again.
To end the news, the headlines again. Dr. Lennox Honeychurch to receive the Dominica Award of Honor, the country's highest award, in November. Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan defends Dominica's CBI program as OECD releases blacklist. And DFC reassures patrons that the stadium will be ready for this weekend's Creole Festival. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.